Hey guys, this is Charlie with Everglades Equipment. We're in Fort Myers today. We're going to be going over the top 8 implements that you need for your compact tractor. All right guys, so starting off with this one, this is definitely the most useful attachment you can possibly have on a tractor. We're talking about the loader here. So this is a 400E on a 4 Series tractor. This is the bread and butter of your tractor, right? This is how you're gonna have any attachment on the front end, how you're gonna lift up a hay bale or grade maybe with your bucket or pick any dirt up, anything. This is what you have to have. They range in differences between, being able to take them on and off easily, different bucket styles, different obviously things on the front end, which we'll kind of see as we go on, but this is kind of how they're gonna come standard. Bucket up front, plain old loader. Anybody who doesn't have this, you're missing out. You're missing a main part of your tractor. Granted, there's certain situations where a loader is definitely not required, right? Like a golf course probably doesn't need a loader, okay? But for general around your house stuff, even if you're thinking, I probably won't use it that much, you will. You definitely will. This is something that you have to have in my mind. If you're just residential, commercial, landscaper, have to have a loader. Obviously, front end here is where your front attachments are gonna hook up, right? So your bucket and anything John Deere, right, is gonna be hook and pin. So you literally just have a pin on the right side, pin on the left side, and then everything else can be done from the seat of your tractor. So you're just gonna tip your loader forward like this, and your bucket or your pallet forks or whatever it is up front will pop off, and vice versa. When you go up to it, grab it, tip it back, put your pins in, you're done, that's it. So there's no hydraulic connections that you need to mess with or anything ever on your loader unless there's something on the front end like a hydraulic grapple. So your hydraulics and everything are actually just on the mid here. Everything is controlled with your joystick, and that's really all you need to worry about. So there's no disconnecting, connecting, nothing hard with this, just easy peasy. Get in, use your loader. All right, you kind of have to use your imagination on this one because there's a bucket sitting on top of them. These are pallet forks, so this is a super versatile attachment as well. You would think, oh, I'll just use them for pallets. But really, I have a lot of people who get these with no pallet in mind, just thinking that they're gonna be nice to tie stuff to and kind of just pick up random stuff with. I have guys who like to work on cars or trucks, stuff like that. These are awesome to pull a motor out or anything like that. There's just lots of different tie down points. So these tines, kind of all different, right? But these are floating tines, so you can actually move these across the backboard here on this headache rack, if you will. And then they hook up the same way as the bucket or anything else does with a hook and pin. And again, no hydraulic connection or nothing of that sort. Super easy. All right, so this is a Backhoe. This is a 370B backhoe on a 3 Series tractor. This is something that you can get on a 1 Series tractor. It would be a different one. It'd be the 260B. And then this one is just gonna be on the 3 Series, so on and so forth. They kind of go up as the models go up of the tractors. This is a really versatile tool as well. It is a pricier implement. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does take a little bit of setup. We'll kind of show you under the tractor a little bit just to see how it hooks up, because it does change the way your frame goes a little bit, reduces your ground clearance a little bit, and it is a heavy implement on the rear. This is something you can take on and off though. It's just got a couple more steps than just your like hook and pin of your bucket. So there is obviously hydraulics involved. So just like on the hydraulic grapple, you will have to add hydraulics to the rear of the tractor on this one. So that'll be the Power Beyond kit instead of like a third function for your hydraulic grapple. This can be used in a residential setting. If you're thinking, you got an extra lot and you're wanting to clear it out, this is something that you probably will need, especially here in Florida. You've got palmettos and pepper trees and pine trees and palm trees, all kinds of different things that you need to be ripping out to clear the ground. This is gonna be your best tool. The breakout force and everything on these is completely different than your bucket. This actually allows you, kind of how it's sitting now, to dig and do that scoop just like an excavator. That's just something you absolutely cannot do on the front end of a tractor or even a skid steer, anything like that. So this is a really unique machine. And if you find yourself renting an excavator every weekend, trying to kind of keep up with that work and maybe clear that side lot you have, this might be a smart purchase for you. These can also be used obviously in a landscaper setting or something like that, contractor. Again, kind of same thing, digging up trees, maybe doing some light plumbing work. Obviously, you can't drive the tractor from this rear seat. So to move your tractor, you do have to go to the driver's seat of the machine, which isn't a swivel seat like on a big old loader or a big old backhoe. So you actually have 2 separate seats. So again, to move the machine, you have to get into the driver's seat. So if you're talking, you want to do a plumbing line of, 300 feet, this might not be the best tool for you. You still might want to rent your excavator or maybe not get the backhoe. But again, residential landscapers, digging up trees, doing some fence work, some stuff like that, it's a great implement. All right, so that Power Beyond that I was talking about, this is actually how you hook it up and disconnect it. So this is, again, like, it's a pretty easy implement to take on and off. It just is multi-steps, right? So this is your Power Beyond. This is going to be the last step you use actually to take it on and off. And then this is actually how it mounts to the frame of the tractor. You can see right now, those pins want to come out. So you literally take those pins out, and then you're gonna put your feet down, you're gonna put your bucket down like a tripod almost, right? Kind of get the pressure off of it, and you'll have to play around with your controls a bit. And then you're gonna take both of these pins out, and then the very last step is disconnecting your hydraulics and connecting them back together, or your 3-point won't go up and down, and that's it. So it'll hold itself up just like a loader, you know, disconnecting a loader. It'll hold itself up for you just on the feet and the bucket. All right, so this is a rotary cutter, or a lot of people say bush hog, kind of like the term Band-Aid, right? So rotary cutter is the proper name for all of these rotating cutting devices, all right? So this is a RC2060. It's 60 inches. This is paired really well with a 3 Series tractor. On a 1 Series tractor or 2 Series tractor, you'd want to be at like the 48-inch mark there. This is really useful for anybody who's got maybe a pasture or even a, you know, kind of like a side lot. This is not going to finish mow, so don't plan to use this around your house with your nice St. Augustine grass or something like that. That's not what this is for. This is for like pasture grass, maybe some taller bahia, some smut grass out in a cattle pasture, something like that. That's not, you know, gonna be perfect. It's got big old sling blades in there, not nice little mower blades, okay? This obviously works off your PTO, so you're gonna hook up your 3-point here. Again, made a little easier with the iMatch or the quick hitch, and then you're just gonna hook up your PTO there, and that's it. You have a gearbox here, just make sure that has oil in it. We obviously prep that when we install it, but that's something you should be checking every time before you use it. You're gonna make sure it's level here with the top length of your 3-point, and just, you know, look at it from the side and make sure that the unit's level. And this wheel, you know, moves up and down with the unit, so don't be worried. A lot of people will panic when they put it on a trailer and that wheel will drag. This actually is a hinge point here, so this actually allows it to flex and move about. So if you're thinking you have a bumpy kind of pasture, you're good with this still. All right, this is a landscape rake. Excuse her, she's a little bit used, but this will work for our video. So this is a 60-inch landscape rake. You can put this on, honestly, even a 1 Series. It's a really light attachment, so I wouldn't be too worried about weight or anything on the back of this unit. This just hooks right up to your 3-point, really not much to this. You're gonna have these tines here that are pretty flexible. You can kind of see they're all at different kind of levels there. They bend kind of with the ground, which is nice. You can drag this over a pasture or like a lot that you've been clearing, anything like that, and kind of pick up maybe those bigger sticks or kind of little chunks of log, some stuff like that. I even have people buy these who live on the beach, and they actually comb the beach with it. So it's really just a big rake on the back of your tractor. So the teeth are kind of flexible. Obviously not great if you're planning on picking up big old logs or something. That's not what this is for. But just little sticks, kind of some debris cleanup, or maybe leveling out, even an arena, you know, if you need something like that just to level the ground real quick, this is a great option for that. All right, so this is the AV20F. This is the smallest grapple that we make. So this would be good for a 1 Series, a 1023 or a 1025, or a 2 Series, any of them in the lineup. This is actually a hydraulic grapple, so you would have to add third function to your tractor to make this open and close, right? That's just something that we include when we install the grapple. So make sure you include that in your price when you're getting other, you know, quotes and things like that. This grapple is really for anyone. This is really useful for picking up things like brush or debris, fence posts, really anything you can dream of. And obviously there's lots of spots where you can even, you know, chain stuff and pull stuff up with this. It's just a little more versatile than just your bucket is. This compared to like a mechanical grapple like the MG20, this one again has this hydraulic cylinder here, and you'll see on different models there's even 2 hydraulic cylinders. So the mechanical grapple, we can take a peek at that, but it doesn't have any hydraulics. So that's actually going to be working just off your bucket cylinders, like off your loader. So it's a little funky to get used to a mechanical grapple, but once you get the hang of it, it is nice and useful. This one is just way easier to use and just a little more straightforward. I would personally recommend the AV20F style over the mechanical grapple in most scenarios. If it's something that you know you're not going to use much, The cost point of the mechanical grapple is much less than this because you don't have to add the third function to your tractor. But again, this is just way easier in every way to use. So this is the mechanical grapple, and MG20F is this model, I believe. So again, this one, you don't see any no hydraulic cylinders or anything like that of that nature. You just hook up to it. It's hook and pin like all your other attachments, and that's it. You don't have any hydraulic connections. You don't have to add third function, nothing. Just runs off your loader cylinders. All right, so obviously this is a rear attachment. So this hooks up to your 3-point. This is a box blade. This is the smallest one we sell. It's only 48 inches wide. I would again recommend this for a 1 series, maybe a 2 series, but getting a little small. This is great for leveling the ground if you've got dirt, if you've got a rock driveway, anything of that nature, and you really just want to move some material. It's got these nice sides on both sides so you can pile up the material on the inside. And then if you see here, these are actually scarifiers or teeth. You can flip these down like they are here, or you can flip them up if they're not needed at all. So obviously you have the opportunity to kind of break up the soil, break up the ground, or not. Again, like for a driveway situation, obviously you're not gonna wanna rip up the ground and rip up your driveway. Another option, which I don't believe we have here, is gonna be like a land plane, and that's gonna be pretty similar, but no sides on there to really keep that material and roll it under you. So that would be honestly maybe even a little better for like a rock driveway or something like that. This unit would definitely be more of a residential unit on a 1 series or a 2 series tractor. This is a great versatile attachment. Really, you can use it for anything and kind of make it work for what you need it for. I personally use this in my horse pasture just to level the dirt where my horses pace around and get all, get it all bumpy and lumpy. That's what I use my box blade for, just getting it all flat and straight. This is a really easy to use attachment. You can hook it up with your 3-point. So if you have an iMatch or a quick hitch, it's even easier. You just back right up to it, hook up your 3-point or hook up your iMatch, and that's about it. If you get this on from us, from factory, we will actually install this and make sure it's level for you, just like with a rotary cutter or anything on the rear. So on your top link, you actually have that threaded piece. You're gonna wanna make sure, depending on how you want and what you're doing with this unit, you're gonna wanna make sure it's either level, or if you look in the back here, there's actually a flange that goes forward and a flange that goes to the rear. So you can scrape or level it a little nicer depending on what you're exactly doing. All right, so we went over a lot of different stuff today, right? So really keep in mind, these are just 8 implements that we think are really good implements, but that doesn't mean they're the right implement for you. So really make sure that you're either doing your own research on our website or talking to a sales professional to get into the right implement. Like I said, the Backhoe even, just because you might need it every once in a while, it might not be the best implement for you. Everything adds up, and if you don't absolutely need something, we don't want to sell you that thing. Just make sure you're really being, you're really communicating with your salesperson and getting the right thing that you really need for your property or your job or whatever it is that you're doing. The loader, I will say, is probably the one thing that, as far as a compact tractor goes, is kind of a no-brainer to me. Most of our units come stock with them from factory, which is the best way to get them. No funny business. They're 100% the right thing. They're really easy, and they're just, without a doubt, the best implement you can get. As always, please feel free to contact Everglades. Like I said, you can check out our website. You can talk to one of our salespeople. Anything that you need. We're a family-owned company with 18 stores right now. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.